Pause a moment and take a deep breath. The oxygen filling your lungs was forged in the cores of stars where heat and pressure fused lighter elements into heavier ones. That same oxygen is now locked in Earth's rocks, flowing through rivers, dissolving into lakes, and cycling through every living thing. It makes our lives possible and the lives of countless other organisms on the planet. And because it is so essential, we often assume more must be better. But to understand what dissolved oxygen means for aquatic ecosystems, we need to see it not just as a simple sign of water body health, but as a complex factor shaping everything from aquatic greenhouse gas emissions to the structure and function of underwater communities. Oxygen plays a critical role in aerobic respiration. It's the final electron acceptor in the chain of chemical reactions that turns food into the fuel that powers cells. When oxygen accepts electrons at the end of this chain, it unlocks a large amount of energy that becomes available for use by the organism. That's why oxygen is so valuable. It supports the most efficient form of respiration on Earth. And in most water bodies, especially near the surface, there's plenty of it. Atmospheric mixing and photosynthesis by aquatic plants and algae maintain oxygen-rich waters, which in turn can support diverse active ecosystems. But more oxygen isn't always better. And the absence of oxygen doesn't always mean something's wrong. Take Lake Tanganyika in East Africa. It's more than 1.5 kilometers deep, and the top is warmer than the bottom all year round, meaning its waters probably haven't fully mixed in centuries. As a result, oxygen from the surface doesn't reach the bottom, where it holds the largest volume of anoxic freshwater on Earth. Despite the widespread anoxia in Lake Tanganyika, it is one of the most biodiverse lakes on the planet. And even in the deep, oxygen-free layers, microbial life thrives using alternative electron acceptors like ferric iron, sulfate, and acetate. Like in many other anoxic water bodies, these alternate pathways generate less energy than oxygen-based respiration and can have some harmful byproducts like methane and hydrogen sulfide. But these alternate pathways can still support diverse microbial communities that are adapted to those environments. Now flip to the other end of the dissolved oxygen spectrum. Lake Vostok in Antarctica is sealed beneath 4 kilometers of ice. Here, oxygen levels may exceed 1,000 milligrams per liter, nearly 100 times that of typical water bodies. The oxygen likely builds up as glacial ice melts and refreezes, concentrating gases over millennia. Yet despite the abundance of oxygen, just the hardiest of microbes are adapted to the cold, pressure, and extreme chemistry. So what do these outliers tell us about dissolved oxygen? In places cut off from the atmosphere, like the deep waters of water bodies or those sealed off by a layer of ice, oxygen levels can reach unusual extremes. And in both cases, those extremes challenge simple assumptions. More oxygen doesn't always mean more life. And oxygen-free conditions aren't necessarily unnatural. Since its formation in the cores of stars, oxygen has become central to aquatic chemistry, driving the energy systems of aerobic organisms. But its distribution in water is anything but uniform. From oxygen-free zones to hyperoxygenated lakes, its presence shapes ecosystems in complex and sometimes unexpected ways. Tracing its path from cosmic origin to biological engine is key to understanding dissolved oxygen and the role it plays in aquatic ecosystems.